Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew. Tonight I want to talk about the PlayStation 5 experience and some more about the Forbidden West demo that we saw yesterday. So I've had a chance to start playing Watch Dogs Legion and Assassin's Creed Valhalla on the PlayStation 5. I have both of these games already on the Xbox Series X. I bought both of those the day it came out. So basically what I've noticed so Assassin's Creed, I can basically just load my save in, like no problem. I can go right to where I'm at in the game on the PlayStation 5, just using my other save. Watch Dogs Legion was different. I don't know if it has that because I had to start the whole game over on that one. But like the biggest thing I've noticed between these two games, these are two of the games that I would normally play and spend a lot of time on. And so I thought that would be more fair for me to judge those two games out of all the rest of them, because those are the ones that I've spent the most time in and gotten the most play time out of. So basically, right off the bat, the first thing I noticed on the Assassin's Creed version between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, I mean, this isn't bad at all. Like, at all. They both look pretty close. The only thing I can really notice is the Xbox version. The colors are way more vivid, and I've noticed that across a lot of games that I've played on both consoles. The colors just seem to pop more on the Xbox Series X than they do on the PlayStation 5. That's not saying that the PlayStation 5 version looks bad. No, the PlayStation 5 version looks more gritty on the Assassin's Creed. I have both of them set the exact same on the HDR settings, 1000 peak brightness and 5 on the exposure. And yeah, the Xbox version just looks really vibrant, vivid with the colors, whereas the PlayStation version looks a lot more realistic. So that game, honestly, if I had just one of either console, I'm going to be... Honestly, if I only had a PlayStation 5 and I didn't have the Series X, I would be completely satisfied with that experience. I've played around both of them on the performance mode. They both, like, you can't even tell a difference. They both are pretty stable. The 4K mode, again, they both, like, they're almost identical. Right when you load in, like, you'll see the back of the shield kind of load in on both versions. You turn a little bit, they both, like, they're pretty freaking close. So Watch Dogs Legion is a little bit different. Like, I feel like the textures look a little better almost on the PlayStation 5. But I remember, and that one's kind of hard, because when I started playing that game, I started playing that on the Xbox One X. So now seeing like that whole beginning intro on the PlayStation 5, to me, it definitely looked way sharper, way better than I remembered it. But now it's so hard to like set an exact time of day and, like the characters and everything else, that I can't really tell much of a difference. So honestly, if I only had one of, like, the PlayStation 5 or the Series X, I'd be pretty satisfied with that. So now I want to get back over to Horizon Forbidden West. So I watched the Digital Foundry video when they were talking about this game, and and like, yeah, I'm sad to see the 30 frames a second, but after playing both Assassin's Creed and Watch Dogs Legion tonight, in both modes and 30 frames a second, I'm kind of leaning towards I do kind of want that super high resolution at like 30 frames a second because I want to see that beauty. But I really do want a performance mode with that as well. But see, that's where things get complicated because once I go to the performance, I don't know. Like, I don't know. This is a tough one, but I feel like it'll be fine. I'm actually pretty excited for Forza Horizon. Oh my gosh, this is so dumb. I'm pretty hyped about Horizon Forbidden West. It's actually I've watched that video a few times now, and the detail in this game is just so freaking better. It's so much better than anything we've ever seen on a console. Because I don't know, I can't really compare. Like in my mind, I can't really compare Ratchet and Clank to something like Forbidden West. Ratchet and Clank looks pretty freaking good, but like the whole art style of Forbidden West just looks, oh man, way more unique in my opinion. Like I am pretty pumped for that Forbidden West. I don't know why I was having such a hard time with because the only thing that was really bugging me about that is the 30 frames a second. But dude, that game looks freaking amazing. Like I've been looking at the screenshots, watching that video over and over and over again. I like the stuff that Digital Foundry pointed out about it today. Just this is going to be an amazing experience. That Forbidden West is going to be pretty good. I really, really liked the first game. I really enjoyed that. I've played through that almost twice. I'm pretty close to beating it a second time, but I am really starting to get pretty freaking hyped about this. Now, if they would just give us a release date, I don't understand why they didn't give us a release date. And I definitely want to be able to upgrade my storage to the PlayStation 5. I bought this heat sink to go on my SSD when I'm able to upgrade it. It was like 17 more bucks or something off Amazon, but it should fit in that. It should fit in that space. I haven't taken it apart to look, but yeah, like I'm pretty pumped and want to get this memory expanded. I had to delete a couple games just so I can get those other two PlayStation games on there. Basically, the point of this video is because I really do not want to engage. I don't want this channel to be. I don't really want it to be a console war stock thing. Both of these consoles are freaking amazing. Like this PlayStation 5 is definitely punching above its weight. Everything that I've played on it, like the experience isn't freaking bad, and it's not better and it's not worse than the Xbox version or the Xbox experience for the most part. We all know that Sony is going to always shoot for high quality visuals, and they are the best on the market, that we've seen. But Microsoft is definitely catching up. They are starting to get better. Like Gears 5 looks amazing on the Series X. Like it looks great. I mean, to date, everything has been pretty close for the most part. So as soon as Ratchet and Clank and Forbidden West launch, those two games are going to set like a new bar for console video game visuals. I'm pretty pumped. And that freaking what's that called? Far Cry 6, even that looks good. Like this is the best time to ever be a gamer. Like if you're so worried about these console wars, because I know that this channel right here, like I'm gonna say things that's gonna make both sides mad. I don't want to do that. I want people to be able to follow me and like the content and appreciate the work that I'm gonna put into like review video games for you and stuff. Like I just want to be I do. I've watched a lot of YouTubers in the past, and I'm not going to name any of them, but it's like anytime like a video game like has a problem, or like Cyberpunk, everybody freaking jumped on that, like rode that train out, just jumped on. They just jump on these bandwagons, and then they're like, oh, like a squirrel, and then they jump to something else. Like their mindset, their mind span is so short on this stuff that it's like, come on, guys, like we want the video game medium to grow and get better. Yes, we do need to criticize, developers when they do bad stuff, but we also need to do it in a way that encourages them to keep taking chances, to keep doing things that are going to push the medium forward. What CD Projekt Red did with the base console versions of Cyberpunk 2077, that was pretty ridiculous. That was pretty low for them to do that. They obviously, this was their first person shooter game. That game came out when it launched. I played the Series X version, so I didn't have all of the problems that everybody else was complaining about. So I didn't see that. But I've seen like videos and people like mocking it and everything else, and yeah, I don't condone that. They should have either just scrapped the base. They should have just scrapped the last gen models and moved forward. But that doesn't work either, because we've seen amazing games like Red Dead Redemption 2 running on both consoles last gen. We've seen a number of games running really well on those last gen consoles at least 30 frames a second. So, yeah, I mean, in my honest opinion, they should have stripped down the Cyberpunk 2077 last gen model or version of that. They should have just probably made that a linear experience, customized, like curated experience. I think they would have saved a lot of face with that, or put it out in early access and let people, continue to play it. Because to my knowledge, it's still not even back on the PlayStation Store. So we haven't heard anything from them for a while on that game. So yeah, I don't want to be part of the console war things with you guys. I like Xbox and I like PlayStation. They both have amazing features. I mean, the PlayStation experience is definitely different from the Xbox. Like Xbox does feel a lot more seamless. PlayStation 5 is basically PlayStation 5 is the best PlayStation that's ever been made. Xbox Series X is the best Xbox that's ever been made. We haven't even seen what these consoles can do yet. We're still in the first year, and we're all fighting about whose game is better. Like, Assassin's Creed Valhalla was designed for last-gen console. They pumped up everything they could and put it on the next-gen consoles. The same with Watch Dogs Legion. It looks freaking good on the Xbox One X, but it looks even better on the Xbox Series X. That's just the thing, guys. Like, we haven't even seen what these consoles can do. We don't know if... I mean, Xbox is definitely making some noise with a lot of the way they're doing things, and it's definitely good for the industry. I like that Microsoft is actually trying to be more competitive this generation than they were last generation. It was just like they're like, okay, whatever. We lost everything, let's just reboot. Let's just start doing more consumer-friendly stuff. And that's great, and I hope they stick with that. I can see them doing that and like sticking with that whole consumer first and, like upgrade your experience and stuff like that, because what else do they got, until they start putting out good, I'm not going to say until they start putting out good, high quality first party exclusives, because Xbox fans love Xbox first party exclusives. PlayStation fans love PlayStation first party exclusives. They are both excited in the same way. And me being a player of both consoles, I can see that, because when a new Forza Horizon's about to launch, I'm sorry, I do forget the Series S. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, the Series S. So I was reading some stuff just now that in the UK, that like they're game crazy or whatever kind of places will trade in any last gen system and give you the new console for $100 or $40 or 40 pounds or whatever. Um, I know that here in the States, they're probably going to start doing something like that as well for the Series S, because I have been starting to see those more on the shelves. But don't be upset with, I mean, like your Series S is a pretty powerful machine. Like, hold on one sec. Like, this thing is a beast. I put this, when I set it up for my daughter, I took it in and I put it on my TV, and I was playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 Remastered Edition at 120 frames a second. Like, this thing is a freaking beast. But she was naughty. She hit her mom, so she doesn't get to play it for a little while. I told her I'll just have it in here as my prop for my show. But that thing is a beast. It's chunky. It works really, really well. It's pretty nice. If you've got a 1080p TV or a 1440 or a 1440p monitor, that thing it's fine. Like, it's a perfectly good experience for a next gen console, an entry level next gen console. I'm pretty satisfied with the experience that it offers. Like, this thing it's pretty dang nice. Feels kind of stocky and stuff. Like, I like it. I just bought another memory card too. Not for that, but I bought another hard drive. Been buying a lot of storage because I've been buying a lot of freaking games. My goodness. Good evening, Yoji Mo, or I don't know how to say that. Yoji MB. Manuel, how's it going, man? Exactly, man. Everybody, like, we all love our first party games. My favorite Xbox ones, I like Gears, I like Halo, I like Forza. The rest of them, I'm not really like. I mean, I bought like Crackdown 3 and stuff like that. Yo Jimbo. Oh, Yo Jimbo. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. I mean, for $300 for that, that's pretty good. That is pretty freaking good. I got well, seeing as you guys are all here now, I was just talking about, the experience. I don't want this channel to be a console war thing. I lost a pretty good chunk of subscribers, just doing my little talk about, Forbidden West. Like, I am excited for that game. I really am. I am excited. After today, I bought deep dish pizza, and it's great. Yeah. My wife just made some teriyaki chicken and rice. So good. She's a good cooker. I think I'm going to keep her. She definitely has fattened me up a little bit. That's for sure. Yeah, like, I'm excited for Forbidden West. Like, if anybody takes anything out of this video, it's that. Like, I'm excited for that game. I love the first one. I want to continue to play that. LG 1440p monitor shows my Xbox as 4K UHD. Yeah. See, I was talking earlier about the because I bought Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Watch Dogs Legion, because they're both on sale on the PlayStation 5 right now. Because those are two of the games that I play a lot and I put a lot of time into. So I wanted to see what that experience was like on the PlayStation 5. And honestly, guys, aside from the Xbox version having like way more vivid color, I don't know what it is about the Xbox, but it produces colors more vividly. So on like Assassin's Creed, it just on Valhalla, it looks way vivid. Yeah, I don't know if the console wars are. I mean, they might be good for gaming, but it's bad for us, as individuals. Like, I don't want to hate people that like a different console. I don't want them to hate me. I don't want to like sit and like call each other names and stuff like that. That's kind of childish. Yeah, I feel like the PlayStation 5. Well, I feel like the PlayStation 5 doing like the 4K 60 native. I think honestly, once we start getting that Fidelity FX and DirectML and stuff like that, I do kind of feel like the 4K might become as long as they can produce a picture, even checkerboarding. I mean, I know I give checkerboarding a hard time, and that's just because of the fuzzy look on hair and vegetation. I don't really like the way it looks, but it's not a deal breaker. I mean, if it's 4K and I've got the clarity and I can still see everything, like I'm usually happy with that. I Okay, so here my biggest thing with like for Forbidden West was this is going to be a cross gen game. Okay, so I was thinking that hey, when they put this out, it should be able to do like a native 4K 60 on the PS5 because it's going to be cross gen. And so that was like my biggest thing yesterday. I was just shocked to see that wasn't the case, but then Sony messed with the PS5 API. They don't play well with the PS4. Yeah, that's the biggest thing that with that. I did finally put my third review out though for Biomutant tonight. That should be up as well. If you guys want to watch that, and I gave my final thoughts on it. Like I'm really happy with that Biomutant experience actually overall. Just being in that world and like running through on the Xbox Series X, it's so beautiful. The PlayStation 5 version doesn't look as nice with the backward compatible version, but it'll still get the job done until the next gen version comes out. It is solid 60 frames a second gameplay, and if you turn the sharpening all the way off, it looks way better. I just prefer that game, and that's cool about that game because you can choose, how much sharpening you want, and your field of view slider. That definitely makes that experience a lot different. I've been actually thinking about getting one of them LGs. Those I don't know. I'm kind of worried about the whole OLED like burning and stuff, so I haven't really ever considered really buying one of those. But I am thinking about getting that Vizio one because it's like $1,000 for a 55-inch. So if it goes out, then I'm only out $1,000 and not $3,000. I think there's two modes on the Series S that you can play it in 1440p 30 or 1080p 60, if I remember correctly. Maybe while I got my daughter's Xbox in here, I'll throw it on there and take a look at it. Not in the LG anymore. Well, see, that's what somebody was saying like a couple years ago when I was looking at them too, that there's like new technology to make it so the burn-in stuff doesn't happen. So I might buy that Vizio because it's only like $1,000 or something, and give that a shot. Pixel shift, so that's what it does now. Yeah, that's what I heard. Something about like shaking the pixels every like couple seconds or something, so that it. Oh, by far, actually, that Forbidden West looks amazing. And see, that's the thing. Like, if they do stick to like a 4K 30 or whatever, like a lot of games are going to look amazing. Ubisoft is. I don't think Ubisoft is really going for that like realistic look. Yeah. I mean like I would like to buy one of those LGs, but honestly, I think I'll probably just stick with Vizio. They've been pretty good so far. And so yeah, a little bit, huh? Far Cry 6 kind of does look a little rough in some sequences. Um it's an Ubisoft game. Like that's kind of weird because when I first booted up like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, I was like, what the heck is going on with this? Oh, there's no Vizio in UK? Samsung, LG, and Sony? Yeah. And see that might be worth importing then because you can get the Vizio TVs use LG panels and they have like VRR support and everything in there for like $1,000. Yeah. The Vizio supports Dolby Vision, HDR10 and HDR10 Plus right out of the box. Even my model that I got in 2018 had all three of them. Yeah, and see that's where I go back to like the Xbox having like being able to produce a better like a more vivid color palette, I think, than Sony's PlayStation 5. Like that's just what I've noticed. And I've got both the HDR things set up, pretty close to the exact same. And I don't know, maybe Sony's is a little bit different or something because I've got them both set up at the exact same HDR in the game, and the PlayStation version, like the grass and everything, just looks more green, where the Xbox version looks a little more like cartoony sometimes, with how bright the colors are. No Vizio in Canada, and either had to go with the Sony is Vizio. So I know that Vizio is a U.S. company, and they're about to go back on the and they're about to go on, or they might have already went like gosh dang it, what's the word when they get on the stocks and stuff and people can invest or whatever? IQ though. I don't know. It's Dolby Vision, like your TV, like the TV manufacturer, I think has to pay for rights or something, or the people that make stuff have to pay for rights. Oh, yeah. I don't know. I feel like Dolby Vision's better for darker environments. Yeah, the LG CX. I've definitely been thinking about that one a lot. I don't know, man. I just don't want to. I paid one. Okay, when 4K TVs first came out, I bought a Philips 65 inch. Like it was like $3,000 for this TV, and like it went out in like 2 years. Like it just stopped working. The whole screen just stopped working. I pulled the back of it off of it, because I'm like pretty good at like technical stuff. I mean, I repair. I work on like diesel engines, all kinds of stuff. I'm a repair guy. So I pulled the back off of it and tried to figure out what the heck was wrong with it, but the board went out on it. So getting a new board for it, it was, yeah, whatever. I didn't want to deal with that. So I just bought Vizio. They had way better quality. Sony, I've seen, that's the thing. I always hear people complaining about like Sony's software, or like it not working right. I don't know. These LGs, they don't get like the highest. I mean, these Vizios don't get like the highest review scores, but they're good for the price. They even show the 4K version of Far Cry 6. I don't know. I think so. I don't know what version they were showing, honestly. I know that some stuff looked good and some stuff looked like, oh boy, that's rough. So I'm definitely excited. I'm actually more excited for this Far Cry than I ever have been. I don't even think I've ever finished a Far Cry. Far Cry 4 was probably the closest I ever got to finishing one. Far Cry 5 too. Next Xbox Dolby Vision ain't no joke. Yeah. Yeah, as soon as we get that Dolby Vision, it's going to be pretty nice. Yeah, and PlayStation 5 not being able to hook up to a 1440p monitor. You guys got to understand that a lot of this stuff, a lot of this PlayStation software stuff is going to get worked out eventually, but not. I mean, I don't think that the software is ever going to be, because Microsoft's a software company, so they can make this stuff. $1,300 for CX on Amazon was $1,300. I usually just buy my TVs at Best Buy. You know what? This Black Friday, because I am planning on upgrading to either a, because my TV that I have in my room now doesn't do the 120 or anything. So I am planning this year around Black Friday to upgrade, or maybe sooner if I can find a good price. Because I know for sure that Vizio 55-inch OLED does do everything. So I will look at both around that time and see which one. Do you think it'd be accurate to call Miles Morales a deal? Yes, I do kind of feel like that as a DLC, because I think it took me like 5 or 6 hours to beat that. But they did add enough stuff into the open world to where you can keep playing it, and playing it, is pretty fun. I still prefer the other Spider-Man to Miles Morales just because of the aesthetic of, being winter and being like summer or whatever. I do appreciate the visual experience of the other Spider-Man after it was remastered. Dolby Vision gaming, yeah, it's awesome. I hope for a sequel, but yeah, hope for what sequel to what? Soulstar. Why is Sony? I don't know if probably so that it would work pretty good on YouTube. Most people when they view it, it's going to be on their phone anyways, and the 1080p 30 on your phone looks pretty decent. Like it looked good, it looked sharp. So that 4K version, yeah, that thing looks amazing. Like that game is pretty freaking beautiful. Yeah, I had like 180 something subscribers a little while ago, and then I dropped 8, and I think it was because everybody was getting mad at me for being a little bit hard on Sony. Dude, I've been a Sony guy for over 25 years now, and my thought for Sony is, yeah, they're good at what they do, but come on, guys, like 4K 30, like the 4K 30 was kind of last generation. I was really just hoping that they would up their game, to try to do, beautiful games at 60 frames a second this generation. And I mean, I'm kind of, and that's kind of what I got a little bit disappointed about with that. Peter, Sony has bad colors shifting toward blue. Yeah, I don't know anything about those other TV guys. Yeah, it's not implemented yet. That would be as soon as that Dolby Vision is implemented. So Dolby Vision, yes, it's going to be coming, but the only way it's going to work is that the developer pays for the fee to have it in their game. So I don't know which games are going to have it and which games. Some games might already have it, and that's probably why Xbox has went out of their way to make sure that's available for the Xbox. Yeah. Yeah, on my Xbox it says mine is good too. All 3 of them. Yeah. Oh, an insider for that. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that insider thing, but I don't know. So mostly everybody in here right now is um, the lack of some RDNA2 features in the PS. And so like there is a lack of RDNA2 features, but that geometry engine in the PlayStation 5, now that I've actually, played some more games and had like Assassin's Creed and the other one, it kind of I think it like kind of sharpens things a little bit. Like it like upscales. I don't know if because it doesn't do it like the Xbox's 16x anisotropic filtering, but I feel like it is doing something because there's just like a little bit finer detail on some things. Like it feels that way. Like there's like maybe a little bit finer detail in some things. Yeah, I hope they release that HDR, that Dolby Vision really soon, actually. For Bethesda, yeah, Bethesda's games usually are pretty buggy at launch. Hopefully, now that they've only got to work on the Xbox, they'll get better. Yeah. I was. I after having to replace that TV for $3,000, I just decided, man, I'm gonna find something that looks good, and if I have to replace it every other year or something, $500 is not that expensive. With games like that, it's impossible to not have bugs. Yeah, they're freaking so big, and they put them on so many freaking platforms that, yeah, I'm hoping that that really changes now that they are Xbox exclusive. You know, I've been thinking that a long time. Having to pay full price to test these freaking games is getting pretty ridiculous. That's another reason why I like Biomutant. That game pretty much launched. Like I haven't ran into any bugs yet. It's been a good experience. So like when you get something good like that that comes out, it's not bad. Yeah, Vizio TLC and Hisense. Yeah, that they do offer an amazing value for gamers to buy these TVs, and that's no joke, man. Like I have been happy. My P series Vizio in the front room is freaking amazing. An AV snob, yeah. There's just better for cheaper. Yeah, I definitely feel like there's gonna be some disparity between like PS5 and Xbox in the future for sure. I do feel like the Xbox is going to have more power going forward for stuff like Fidelity FX and stuff like that, and that's obvious. I mean, there's one of them has more processing units. I mean that, but I mean these PS5 games are still going to look pretty decent. Like I said, if I only had a PS5, I would still be satisfied with that experience. Yeah, I have played all of Cyberpunk. When I did my playthrough, I just went through the main like campaign. I didn't really do a lot of the story or side stuff. I just stuck to the story. Yeah, for my experience with that game, it was pretty decent. Like I really enjoyed it. I thought the story and everything was all right. I mean, it wasn't like a super slog. It didn't take like 50 hours to complete. I think it was done in like 25 hours. So it wasn't it wasn't it wasn't the best experience I've ever had, but it was pretty good. 5-inch high sense and 58. Yeah, yeah, man, I love both of them. I just bought like my thing this generation is I bought so many games on the Xbox, so I really haven't taken the time to play the PlayStation 5 as much. But now that I bought, like some more games and I got Ratchet and Clank coming out, like that's definitely going to change a little bit. Yeah. See, like when you're like walking down the street in Cyberpunk and like you get to that gosh, where is it? The place over by the like by the coast or whatever, and you start seeing like the NPCs like walking instead of walking uphill, they're like walking knee or halfway through the freaking ground. That shit was pretty funny. Yeah, I am looking forward to that. That's what I'm waiting on. Cyberpunk is for that next gen patch because I want to play that. Yeah, I keep my PlayStation 5 controller just plugged in. I didn't see any T pose in my experience with it. I had a pretty decent experience with Cyberpunk 2077. Like I liked that game. I thought it was actually pretty good. I don't like what they did to the base console. They shouldn't even have put it out on base consoles. They should have just they should have held off another year on that game and put it out for next gen and PC. I mean, it still would have sold well. Yeah, I definitely feel like the Series X is definitely going to catch up. It's going to be a lot closer this generation. Yeah, my Elite Series 2, like there's no comparison between that and the DualSense. I love the Elite Series 2. The DualSense has been hit or miss on certain games. The only game I've really enjoyed it is WRC9. It actually it actually is really good. The only bug I had in Cyberpunk 2077 is when you go to the Maelstrom, and then when you get through there and you got to fight the boss at the top of the stairs. Jackie wouldn't like move, so I got stuck behind him, and and it kind of bugged out like right there. But then I finally was able to get past him. That was the only bug that was big enough. Yeah, my Elite Series 2. So I have Dirt 5 on both consoles, and with the triggers on the DualSense, it's like you pull it down and you pull it down harder. Whereas on the Xbox, when you're like bogged down, that rumble in the trigger like rumbles enough to where it feels like there's actually tension on the thing, which feels far better than the PlayStation thing, the PlayStation trigger lock things. Yeah, dude, CD Projekt Red, they've got a hard road ahead of them, but I have faith in them. I mean, they've kept with The Witcher 3. Dude, as soon as they release that next gen patch for The Witcher, I'm going to be in love with them again. You won't be able to say nothing bad about them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I have not tried to play the PS5 that much to where I haven't left it unplugged. I usually just have it plugged in. Yeah, good talk about this. See you later. See you, book. You have fun tonight, man. Yeah, dude, Cyberpunk, The Witcher 3. I think I'm more excited for The Witcher 3 than I am the Cyberpunk, cuz I've already played through Witcher 3 like twice, and I'm definitely going to play through that again. Like I'll take the time and play through that again with the new update. With what? Yeah, I mean, if anybody's playing that Cyberpunk on the PlayStation, I don't know. I've heard that you know being locked to just 60 frames a second on the PS5, that's got to be kind of tough without the higher battery. Oh, PS5 battery. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. I usually just keep mine plugged in. I'm like right close enough to it, so it doesn't matter. Plus, if you have it plugged in, you usually get better. I feel like the latency is better if it's plugged in directly in. I've always kind of been like that though. My Series X controller, my Elite Series 2 controller lasts like 2 or 3 days. Without a with the rate I play games, it usually lasts a couple days before it would need a charge. But it has a charging dock right built into the thing, and I think it's already been updated to take advantage of that low latency. Yeah, I do like the Yakuza series. I actually just bought Judgment. I'm still playing through that on the Xbox Series X. I do have Yakuza 7. I do like that turn-based combat. I have to be in a mood to play those games though. Like sometimes I can sit down and play them for hours, and then sometimes I can only play them for like a few minutes. But Yakuza 6, I was able to sit right through that whole game. That one was good. I really liked the story. They kind of take me back to playing Shenmue, and when I first got my Dreamcast back in '99, that was the first game I bought, and I loved that game. I loved the slow pace of it back then, but now, dude, I can't. I still have not been able to get through Shenmue 3. Like I don't understand why I haven't been able to play that, because it's basically what it used to be. Plague's Tale is freaking amazing. Yes, I love that. I bought that game day one, and I played right through that whole story without even turning it off. That game was so freaking good. It kept my It kept my attention the whole freaking time. How far are you into it? Yeah. Yeah, dude, that game is so freaking good. That Yakuza 7. I was I was I was pretty amazed because I didn't really think I was gonna like the turn-based thing, but it turns out I really do like that game. I really do. I need to sit down and actually finish it. I just, gosh, so many freaking things came out, and I don't know. I got video game anxiety real bad and bought a whole bunch of stuff and other things. I played a lot more than that. How far are you on that Plague's Tale, Andy? Yeah. Yeah, that one was pretty easy. Like the combat, once you get that combat down, it gets a lot better. Yeah. Yeah, that final boss was pretty stupid. I'm not gonna ruin it for Andy, but yeah, that was definitely freaking interesting yet confusing for sure. Well, no, I mean, I guess it's not confusing because after you find out about Hugo, it it kind of makes sense, but it doesn't. Oh yeah, with Hugo and Mom. Okay, yeah, Andy, stick with that game. It really does get good. The end of it is is definitely worth the the uh the playthrough. The last boss, like and NBMTX is saying, is it's interesting to say the least. Um, my favorite game of all time. Wow, that's a hard one. There are so many. If I had to pick my favorite game, just out of say the last couple of generations, I would say Witcher 3 is sitting pretty high up there on the top. Like I really like Witcher 3. I I I, I like playing that game. There's just something about Witcher 3 that I will never delete it off my hard drive, and I will always enjoy like going into that world. Assassin's Creed, they're pretty up there. Like I do like the way the new ones are going, but the first Assassin's Creed, if it had a remaster, it would be great. Yeah, Final Fantasy 7 was pretty good. Like I don't know, I liked so many games. Like Tenchu was pretty good. Resident Evil's up there, in my top games. Then Dead Space, yes, I don't know too. Like I kind of have to go back to like that original feeling. I think I liked like for PlayStation 1, it would have had to have been Resident Evil 2. For well, and then PlayStation 2 probably would have been, ooh gosh, that's a hard one. The one that comes to mind the most is probably God of War 2, Lost Odyssey. Xbox, the first Xbox, I really like that damn brute force, man. That shit was so fun. uh, Tao Feng, um, Xbox 360, Halo Reach. It's probably one of my favorite games to play on that. I didn't really play the 360 that much. Second Final Fantasy Tactics. I do like Final Fantasy. I'm just not like head over heels for Final Fantasy. Like I've played 7, 8, 9, and then everything after 9 up to 13 I didn't play, but 13 I played, but I never finished those. And then 15. I did I did finish 15. I did like 15. That was pretty good. Yeah, I remember Outbreak. I bought every freaking Resident Evil game ever made, and Outbreak was all right. I didn't really like the whole online part of it. Outbreak is the online one, right? If I remember correctly. Outbreak and then Outbreak 2. Yeah. Yeah, and see, 10 is the one I haven't. You know what? I might just actually buy that on the Xbox. I think they just put 10 and 10.2 out and remastered. Kingsglaive on Netflix. It acts as a good way to quickly become more interested in Final Fantasy 15, which you have through PS Plus collection. Yeah, I have Final Fantasy 15 on my Xbox. It actually looks really, really good now at that 4K 30. Hopefully they'll be able to. Hopefully they can get FPS boost that one to do 60 FPS and still continue to keep the 4K. Oh yeah, the Final Fantasy X is free, huh? It's on Game Pass. All of that stuff came to Game Pass. That's right. Yeah, I'll just download that. Maybe play some of that this weekend. I got a 3-day weekend. This is going to be great. Are different characters? Okay. 10 and 10.2. Yeah. Game Pass just added. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I saw something on Twitter today about that. I think I definitely will look into that. So yeah, I mean, I'm glad that like I do want this channel to be able to be able to talk about PlayStation. I want to be able to talk about Xbox. I want to be able to be excited about both of them and have people, you know, be excited, because I've noticed a lot of people fighting in my comment section on my videos, and I don't really want people to be like fighting about like which one's better. Like they're both good consoles. Like they are. Like the PlayStation 5 is good. If I had either just one or the other, I'd be satisfied. A lot of you guys on here that have them, you guys are satisfied with your purchase, you know. I think we all just have anxiety right now because there's really not a whole lot that's come out that's been like world shattering. And that's kind of where I'm at. That's where I'm at. You know, I mean, like we have yet to have those next gen experiences that are really going to push the medium forward just yet. Yeah, I know you can switch to the frame rate, but it drops it down to that 1080p. And it's actually okay playing it in the 30 frames a second because it looks so good. And normally I've never had a problem with the 30 frames in 4K and looking good and stuff until this generation, when I started playing Assassin's Creed in performance mode. And then I've been playing a lot more games in 60 frames a second, like open worlds and stuff. So that way, you know, when I saw, I hope we see God of War this year, but I don't even know if Forbidden West is going to launch this year, because they didn't say anything about a release date at all. They just showed some gameplay. Maybe they're planning on doing another state of the play, like a bigger one here in the next couple of weeks, and we'll find out more about what they're going to do, and maybe they'll give us a release date then. I'm really hoping that's the case, and I really hope that we find out soon about updating our SSDs, because I bought this heat sink to go on that, so now that's going to be good. I don't know if I'm going to need the heat sink, but I bought it anyways just in case. I want to keep that thing nice and cool. Any of you guys watched the last Biomutant review that I did today? Well, yeah, there's 4 views on it, so that's freaking awesome. What do you guys think, though? should I make this channel more like one-sided and like talk more about like Xbox or just PlayStation? A lot of new titles, I think. I think the Xbox titles might actually continue to be cross-gen for a little while longer because of that GDK. You think I should just think I should just stay neutral, right? That's what I think. That's what I want to do. I mean, like sometimes I get really super excited about Xbox and what Xbox is doing, and sometimes that that tends to because yeah, I mean, believe it or not, no man can serve two masters. He end up loving one and hating the other, and that's something that I'm really trying to work on in myself with both of these systems. Is like I want to be able to view them both on a level playing field. Yeah, exactly. Gotta pick us up. I mean, since the Xbox One X, I have been a lot more impressed with the Xbox side, but I've always been like a PlayStation guy. Yeah. Like my community, I'd say I've noticed that like on my videos, like I've gained a lot more people on like the Xbox stuff, and then the PlayStation guys usually like if I say something negative, I'm not trying to be negative about PlayStation. I'm just trying to say like, hey man, like these are the things that like I'm not exactly like happy with, or I'm a little disappointed, and like they kind of freak out a little bit about that, man. Like my Xbox community so far has been, pretty nice in the comment section. I don't understand why people get so mad over PlayStation. It doesn't freaking. I mean, there's some crazy people out there about Xbox too, but like I just don't understand why there's so much freaking anger about it. Yeah, I mean, like I've noticed that. Yeah, exactly, Emmanuel. Like those are my concerns with PlayStation. They don't have a freaking SSD slot. That makes me mad. They haven't given us any information about that. They they continue to push, for 4K 30 when I feel like the PlayStation could do better. And I feel like Sony's developers, because they are pretty good. I don't understand why they can't start shooting for that as the new normal and kind of move away from the 4K 30. I was really hoping that that's what they were going to do this generation. So yeah, like I mean, my disappointment for PlayStation 5 has been things like that where I see Xbox like completely excelling at and moving forward and still producing beautiful looking games that are performing at 60 frames a second. Like that makes me happy. Yeah, that's true. And I want everybody to come together, and just love gaming. And for gaming, man, we all love things, and a lot of people can't afford to buy both consoles. And I know that if a lot more PlayStation guys bought Xboxes like I did and started playing it more, like they would change their minds pretty quickly, and then they would find themselves in the same boat that I've been in, trying to but yeah, dude, there's just no reason to pick either one of them as your favorite, because they're both going to make mistakes and they're both going to do great things, and you have to be able to roll with that as time goes along. Yeah, I still love the GameCube too. That Eternal Darkness was so freaking cool. My gosh, I picked that game up thinking it was going to be more like a Resident Evil type game. That Eternal Darkness was one hell of a freaking game. What was that other one that came out? That didn't have no voice acting or anything, but that was kind of like a scary game too. Oh, I don't remember the name of that one, but Gatsu's Rage. What the freak was that? Sort of Berserk. That freaking game was amazing on the Dreamcast. If you want to get technical, the Dreamcast was like one of my favorite consoles too during the PS2 generation. I really love that thing. I'm so sad that thing went out as fast as it did. We got a new Sonic game coming out in a few months. Like, oh man, that Sonic stuff. I buy that kind of stuff just because I like the nostalgic feeling of it. And that's the thing about gaming, man. When you've been gaming, as long as I have, like video gaming just like you like to see things like from the past, like Sonic, when it was 2D, you like to see things move forward. I honestly think that the PlayStation the first PlayStation should have been a higher quality 2D platformer experience. Yeah, SOCOM, man, I freaking love that. That was innovation back then. Dude, I sat there and played SOCOM until my eyes were so bloodshot. I was the manager. That was when I was the manager of Game Crazy, man. I was up all freaking night playing that game. My eyes were so bloodshot the next day. My area manager thought I was smoking weed, dude. And I was like, no, man, I was just playing the game. Yeah, it was basically the same thing. The Wii and the GameCube were about the same in power. I think that that Wii U was actually pretty powerful, wasn't it? I think it was. I think that Wii U was pretty powerful. It wasn't as powerful as the PS4 and stuff, but it was more powerful than the PS3, I believe, and the Xbox 360. No. Yeah, it was. I mean, Junior, he's barely starting to like my boy loves that Nintendo Switch. He's almost 12 years old. He loves that Nintendo. My daughter, she loves her Xbox. She would rather play on Xbox, but I mean she does play. Yeah, that Wii U, we had one. The freaking screen on it stopped working. So it was basically garbage. It didn't work without that screen. So you probably dodged a bullet, MB. Probably dodged a bullet on that thing because the kids like kind of did it too hard on the pad and it just stopped working. And then you couldn't play any games or do anything with it. What do you think about this new Switch that's going to come out September possibly? If this thing will upscale to 4K, I will buy one. I will buy one day one. I will try. I will move people out of my way at the GameStop to get one. Yeah, I mean the kids love theirs. Yeah, I mean if this thing can upscale, I think that if they do that, the upscalers should be in the dock. I don't think they need to pack all that power in the handheld itself. But to give it the new OLED screen and then have the dock have a an upscaler, its own little processing unit in there, that would be awesome. I would definitely buy one of those. I'd even pay $400 for it if it did good. Yep, in 5+ games. Yeah, I want to be able to go back to Breath of the Wild and finish that playthrough with DLSS. That would be freaking amazing. And Monster Hunter Rise. I love Monster Hunter World. Like that game is freaking insane. Like I love playing that. Um, so I do want to play Monster Hunter Rise, but it's kind of hard to go to for me to sit there, and look at it that little screen. But it doesn't upscale good enough on 4K TVs. I don't think that Switch. They do need something a little better. Yeah, 1440p on a. I mean, I know my Samsung phone has a 1440p screen, so I know they can do it. I know the technology's there, but the battery life would be about yeah, not good at all. On a monitor like a PC monitor. Yeah, I guess if I had a 27-inch monitor, I could do that. Well, see, I am planning on getting a PC, for my channel. So I'm going to buy a desktop, so I will have a monitor, and I'll give it another try when I get that monitor. Yeah, I was thinking like 27-inch monitor would be good for the space I have. Probably be good. Just getting like a little desk and like a desktop and stuff, so I can play that. I want to be able to start uploading 4K videos on my channel, so I'm gonna have to get something with a pretty decent graphics card in it, so I'll be able to play PC games on it either way. Yeah, yeah. I don't think we're gonna do. I don't think they're gonna be able to do. Well, they might. They might be able to. They would have to do something with the CPU on that thing, though. Doesn't it only have like 4 gigs of a memory in the Switch too? So they'd probably have to at least double that to start doing stuff a little more they don't double that memory, I don't know. FPS boost, ASP. Yeah. Nintendo just needs to start putting some of their games on the Xbox. That would be good. Yeah. Yeah, that's another reason why I haven't really done a whole lot of gameplay in my videos, is because I can only, my capture card only does 1080p at 60 frames a second. So I mean, I would always upload like the 1080p, but uh, I it's better if I just stream it. I always stream the on my Xbox at the highest bit rate possible. Yeah, yeah. They're my battery in my note. I'm at my S10 lasts. It'll last all day if I'm not really on it, but yeah, they do need a bigger battery in that Nintendo and a replaceable battery. I think they should make it so you can buy battery packs or something for it to be able to swap them out, because that internal battery just it sucks. I'm definitely looking forward to that Switch though. I do want to see what they do with that. I've always liked Nintendo games, but I really like with Biomutant. I had to put myself in a, because I can still play them, but I just have to put myself in a different mindset. And after I put myself in that mindset for Biomutant, that game became freaking amazing. A lot better experience than what it started out to be. A lot better experience. So, well, it's 10 o'clock. My wife's got to go to bed so she can go to work in the morning. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this stream at that. Really appreciate you guys coming and supporting these streams. That really makes me happy to see so many of you guys show up and stay with me for so long. Nintendo was just a software company. Dude, they would. Seriously. My gosh, man, that's a really good point. If they end up doing the same thing that, well, I don't know, Nintendo's a pretty big contender. Dude. They're selling like, they might actually sell more Switches than PS4s, man. And then what would everybody say? You know, I mean, like, oh my gosh, dude, this Switch outsold them the cheapest console you could buy. That's why I think Xbox Series S is going to do good. All right, Peter. All right, guys. I'm off tomorrow, so I'll probably do another one of these streams and probably play a bunch of games. The weekend is when I really get a lot of yeah, that would be, if PlayStation became a software only company, I think we'd all have to be moving to PC. But a lot of their games are coming to PC now, so yep, I wish you the same. Let me see. Yo Jimbo, right? Okay, I'll try to remember that. Yo Jimbo, you and your family as well. Okay, guys, I will talk to you tomorrow.